we'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so has everybody reviewed the agenda?
Yep, I would move that we approve the agenda.
Second. Okay, any discussion on that? Tim?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Okay, now we need, everybody a chance to review the May 8th meeting minutes?
There's one correction,
Okay.
and I tell Chelsea to do that on purpose to make sure that you guys read them. No, down on the Marco one here, there was just the doctor seconded, there wasn't the motion by Larry to do it, so. Second page, second one from the bottom, Brant presented a new quote from Marco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, should add Thomas motion to go with Marco for $143.54 a month.
Yep.
How did I miss that?
So I would move to approve the minutes as corrected.
Second. Any more discussion on the minutes?
No.
Tim?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Okay, now we have, everybody have a chance to review the special meeting minutes for May 23rd?
Yes, sir. Move to approve.
Second. Okay, questions?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay, now the May financials. Everybody a chance to review those? Move to approve the financials.
Second?
Question on the financials? Tim?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Okay, resolution setting auditor's bond. Madam Auditor, would you like to read the resolution?
Sure. Okay, the resolution setting auditor bond limit, this needs to just be done per century code. Whereas the City of Washburn is covered by a blanket bond by the North Dakota State Bond Fund, and whereas the North Dakota State Bonding Fund provides fidelity bond coverage for city employees and public officials in dealing with public funds. And whereas a bond is fixed by the city governing body and set by resolution as outlined in ND Century Code 40-13-02, and whereas at the June 12, 2023 regular City Council meeting for the Washburn City Commission, the current bond limits were reviewed and found to be sufficient. Now therefore, be it resolved by the City Commission of the City of Washburn, North Dakota, that the auditor bond coverage by the State Bonding Fund in the amount of $2 million has been reviewed and found sufficient. Dated this 12th day of June 2023.
I have a motion to approve the bond resolution with one little correction. It should be at the regular City Commission meeting, not council meeting. Because we're a commission, not a council.
Right.
Right.
Oh.
Yep.
One second.
Okay.
Discussion? No? Tim?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Okay, Fire Chief Berkey, please.
Come on up, Clayton.
Please approach.
Yeah, sure.
Go in the middle, they can hear better.
Sure.
Cheers
Raise it up.
cheers on wheels.
Yeah, they go up and down, you know.
No, I have to always read that.
Okay.
Anyway, emergency sirens. Never thought of it much until I was in a meeting about a month ago. I talked to a couple of you guys about it. Had to do with tornadoes, whatever, severe weather.
Can I have you speak up just a little bit, because
And-
it's recorded, and sometimes if you speak low, you can't hear it. Well, you can't hear it on the record.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, in this meeting, it happened last year. There was a community, someplace in southern United States that had sirens, and they were in a tornado warning area, and they didn't set off the sirens. A couple people got killed because they got hit by a tornado, and they got sued. The city did. And kind of made me think about it. Years ago, we would set off the sirens for just about anything. I mean, it was, Weather Service said they had rotation any place near Washington, we had the sirens set off. Wind got up where we thought it was a little bit high, we'd set them off. We did everything. At that point in time, I think that was in the mid-90s. People were complaining a lot because we'd set off sirens, nothing happened. So at that time, the city commission and a few other people got on the high horse and we quit doing that. And that's basically the way it is now. We don't set it off until we see a funnel. And kind of thinking we need to go back to the old way, maybe not quite as bad as we did before. Doppler's much better, the computer's a lot better, the Weather Service is better at it. But when they set off, like say Washburn's in a tornado warning, we should actually set off the sirens. Now the sirens, as long as people remember, sirens aren't there to warn you if you're in your house. They're not designed to hear in your home. They're designed if you're outside to go to your home or get cover or whatever. That's the idea of them. And some people miss that. They think they're sitting in their basement listening to their TV, they ought to be able to hear that siren. They're not going to do that.
So the other day when it hailed really heavy, I thought it hailed pretty heavy in where I lived. Would that justify setting them off? No? Okay.
So it's triggered by National Weather Service?
Pretty much, unless we see something.
Okay.
You know, it's like the hail the other day. I was watching. I saw a couple of them that were a little bit bigger than pea size.
Yeah.
For it to constitute a severe situation, it takes quarter-size hail and or I think it's a 58-mile-an-hour wind.
Okay.
Okay.
Or 60 knots.
Okay.
But that's what it takes to say it's severe.
So you have a criteria in place to trigger it, I guess is what I'm saying.
And yeah, I think we go back to that old way. I don't know if you guys need to say yay or nay or vote on it or just give us the authority to do what we want to do.
Has the state fire marshal have a thought on this, or?
Not really fire marshal, but
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be the fire marshal, but that's fire, yeah, the fire department. So about an insurance reserve, do they be contacted, or? I don't know.
Yeah, you know, it's a fine line because if you're not vigilant enough, then like you said, the siren doesn't go off and there's a tragedy. If the siren goes off too many times without anything happening, then people quit paying attention to it. You know, so that's why I was asking if there was some type of because we don't want to be crying wolf either when we, you know.
well, that's like the deal on Saturday. You know, even though the wind kicked up pretty good. I myself, I was sitting up by the interpretive center when that hit, and I've got a little deal that I stick out the window that tells me I can set it up for maximum wind speed. And the max I saw was 49.6, which that's pretty good, you know, wind blow, but that was just a gust. And that was one that almost took it out of my hand. But I've been in 60 and 70 and 80 mile an hour winds, and those are the ones that do damage.
So that time that we had that high wind, say, I think it was 4 years ago, I think it was, where it screwed up a lot of people's roofs and stuff. Did we set off the siren that night? We didn't. That was like 80-mile-an-hour winds coming in that time.
That part of the problem with the wind too is it's like that night when Kirby's building blew up by the telephone companies. Tyler and I, my grandson and I were sitting up by the interpretive center that night. I actually moved the pickup because it was rocking bad, and I thought, I was starting to think it was going to go over. But that night, it wouldn't have done any good to set off sirens. Nobody would have heard them.
Yeah,
You could have been standing underneath this thing that night with that roar. And,
it's too loud.
you know, that's where it's kind of probably wouldn't be a bad idea to set it off.
So what kind of criteria are you looking at then?
To me, the big thing is what the Weather Service. If they say there's a tornado warning, not a watch, but a warning, I think that's one thing to definitely set it up for. Severe thunderstorm, maybe. You know, if they're talking like we had a bunch of years ago when, you know, up by the mine, they tracked it at 130 some miles an hour. Yeah, if you could set off before that gets here, maybe.
Right.
Do these ones have different sounds? like for a thunderstorm or for like a tornado?
They only have two.
Okay.
One's fire. Which, that only goes off when somebody makes a mistake and keys in the wrong number.
So it would be similar then to like you're listening to your radio or watching your TV and all of a sudden it comes across and that comes from the National Weather Service also, right?
It's pretty much the same as what you hear Friday noon. That's actually the emergency.
No, but I mean as far as one of the criteria would be,
Oh.
is the same as you're listening to your radio and you're driving and it's clouding up and all of a sudden they interrupt the program and they give you the warning. It would be that same type of criteria to trip when you guys would do your
Yep.
thing.
Who decides when to set it off? Is it you, or is it the police station, or who is it?
Either or, usually me,
Okay.
or, you know, so Travis is around,
Right, yeah.
whoever's in charge at the time in the town. And, Sheriff's Department, yes and no. The dispatch people up there, they've got enough going on. If we got weather coming in,
Right.
they're not gonna do it. They've got enough stuff going on that,
So you can set it off to not just them, so they can do it or you do it, or?
kind of, but, we have to come down here to do it. And I'd have to get those again, but we've got in this radio that we have up back here. We can do it on that one, usually able to. It's easier just to call those guys and they'll do it.
Yeah.
You ever think about having a remote on that?
The wrong deal.
The cheap version is about $60,000.
Wow. That much?
They have a remote that would go through that. Problem is it's done with the radio system. Part of the issue, and it's what the dispatcher gets about every once in a while on a Friday, I can hear them on my radio. That they're on wrong frequency. It's set up on old public service frequency, which is what the county road crews use now. And every once in a while, that's some days when you hear it kind of goes off for a long time, it's because they've tried shutting it down on the wrong frequency.
So then you don't really have any criteria in place of when you would set it off and when you wouldn't at this time?
Other than tornado warning.
Okay.
To me, that's the biggie.
Yeah.
And I said when, you know, we've had small thunderstorms come into town and for whatever reason, you get a microburst out of it and you end up with a gust of wind that takes down a couple of trees.
Right.
But, it's hard to predict that type of stuff.
Right.
And that's not really what those sirens were designed for. They were designed more for, tornadoes than they were severe weather.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. And I guess, you know, you can tweak it as you go to balance it, because like I said, we want to err on the side of caution that warn, but yeah, if it goes off too much, people saying it's not a false alarm, you know, so, yeah.
And that's what we ran into years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, we set up everything and anything in those years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
You need a resolution or something to advance this, or some criteria?
I don't think so. I think, you know, the fire department been in charge of it
Yep.
for all this time. I think
Just a consensus.
they're very valuable. They know what they're doing.
Yep.
I think.
Okay.
We're just gonna let them do their game.
Yep. Make your own decisions on it.
Yeah.
So, were you gonna say something, Jamie?
No, I was just saying, the day after you stepped down and we talked about that, yeah, you know, you see kids on their bikes and stuff like that, well, they might have a phone on them, at least they know when they're coming back and forth from the pool or the park or something like that, they know to get going there, you know, so.
part of the idea of the sirens is, you know, somebody's outside or whatever, they hear it, go in your house, turn on the radio, turn on the TV, do whatever, and find out what's going on.
Mhm.
Go from there. And if they want to go back outside, then it's their fault.
Do you know what that one by the football field, is that working? I think it was not that long ago it wasn't working. Anybody check that lately?
I don't
Yeah,
think it
kind
is
of by the old
working.
bus barn there.
Because when we did some work up there years ago, they just said that was never working, or that wasn't in use anymore.
It was working a while back. I questioned it a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah, I don't think it was working a while back, or, you know, maybe a
Okay.
month or two ago, so.
and found out, no, the old one
Because
is.
my dog doesn't howl near as loud. Because they don't hear it up there as loud.
I can check it.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, if you would.
But, they do have issues, and they're not new by
Right.
any means.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank,
I'm sure the city wants to spend more money on them, so.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Thank you, Clayton.
and thanks Clayton for what you guys do for us,
Yes,
appreciate it.
absolutely. It's a never-ending thankless job.
Yep.
Like mine.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, approval of the Barnhart addition. It went through planning and zoning. They recommended an approval.
So move.
Second. Any questions or discussion? Tim?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. State aid to park board, Chelsea.
Okay, I got meeting minutes from the last park board meeting that they have accepted our proposal of what it is. In the meeting minutes, it was through April, so I did go ahead and add in what we received for May state aid. So the total that's included in our bills to be paid to the park board is $96,366.97. And we received the state aid about the 20th of the month, so we'll get it that month, and then the following month when we do bills, it'll just get paid to them every month from here on out.
Okay, so I think we need a motion for this, because last time we just did a proposal.
Exactly. Yep, I would move to approve that.
Discussion?
This clears it up from all the way back.
This clears up anything from the past.
Yep.
So,
And they're okay with that, or they,
yep, they approved it at the meeting.
Yep,
Correct.
Chelsea has the minutes on it, so.
Yeah.
okay.
Tim?
Yes.
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 Yes. Insurance reserve payment to the park board. This has already been approved, but I think you'll go through it. There's how much it is or whatever. So.
Yes, so there was some confusion after our meeting in October about who was paying for it, but I did get the receipt and the documentation from Lynette for them moving on to their own policy, and then there was a couple things they wanted to get added onto there, just for their gear and stuff that they had went through. So once the snow finally melted and they got their inventory number, and then it was like additional $231. So both those payments are going out with this month's bills as well. So then that's all cleared up from the past as well.
Yeah, and we don't need to vote on that, it's already been approved.
Yep.
Just an update.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, City Hall roof repair.
Adam.
Okay, I think all of you know that we had some leaking problems along this side of the building, in February, or, it was during the freeze thaw of the winter, basically. And we've had ongoing roof problems out in the shop, just around our vents. So we had Tecta America come out, take a look. They're the guys who did, our roofing project last time we did roofing, which was 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
They
And
did a good job.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So he came up, I had him look at the city hall roof, the fire hall roof, the shop roof, the water treatment plant roof, and the library roof. And this is what he came back for repairs, to see if we could clear up these problems before taking any more extreme action. And they're all listed here. There's nothing wrong with the library roof that he saw. This is fire hall, but I believe it's a combination fire hall and shop. And the total was $6,723 for those repairs.
Very reasonable.
Very reasonable.
And I believe if approved, he said around fall, I think is what he said, they could get up here, so.
Okay.
How soon do we have to replace the roofs? After they do the repairs, or?
Guess it depends on how well these repairs hold. Yeah, then we'll go from there, I
We're
think.
gonna have to eventually replace the roofs?
Eventually, yeah.
Okay.
If we're gonna have to replace roofs, that's gonna be, either a 1-cent sales tax, or we're gonna have to be figured out in the budget, maybe in several years, putting away money for that
Right.
specific thing.
For that size.
So I would make a motion that we go with these repairs.
Second.
somebody second?
Yep, I did.
Sorry, missed that. Okay, discussion? Tim?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll send that to him.
Water tower inspections? That'd be you, Adam?
So, we had water tower inspections in, I believe it was April. The original plan was to do the towers in April and then the reservoir next to the water treatment plant in August, but they found some extra time and they did them all at the same time. I've got the full results in the office here, so if you want to go through the full results, it's probably upwards of 100 pages total. Then you can just stop in the office. These are just kind of some abridged recommendations that I put together. Starting with the old tower, there are significant structural problems with the old tower. When I say the old tower, I mean the red one.
All right.
Up on top of 6th Avenue here. He recommended full reconditioning within the next 5 years. It's old. I mean, the name's old tower. It's not really up to code anymore, and the estimated cost to redo the entire tower was around $350,000.
That could be, there is pressure reducing valves there. So it could be we just, sometime in the near future or whenever,
Right.
just completely take it out of service. We might need to put some new pressure reducing valves in a couple of spots in town, but
And this is by far our smallest reservoir.
Very small, yes.
Yeah.
60,000 maximum.
Yeah.
it would
Very
make
small.
sense to do that.
Yeah, compared to 150 to 200 for the rest
Right.
of them, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, we'll have some choices in the next 5 years, but we'll have time to make those. The Senex Tower, one up by Senex. No real recommendations on that one. That was the one that's been had the maintenance the most recently in 2014. Everything looked mostly good on that one. The North Tower, the one across the highway. Recommend some spot repairing of the interior coating. Mostly that's because of ice formation in the tower. If we, he recommended if when we do this spot repairing that, to prevent this from happening is to add some kind of mixing into the tower so that it doesn't get a chance of freezing all the time.
Did you have a cost on something like that?
Did not, no.
So that, would you have to do that on both the Senex Tower and the North Tower, or?
He said the Senex Tower looked good. For whatever reason, that one,
Makes it think.
it just didn't form the ice that the other one did for some reason. It is bigger, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
And the estimated cost on that was the $30,000 to $50,000. And then the reservoir that's in the ground outside the water treatment plant. He said it mostly looked pretty good. There's some cast iron piping and some corrosion on the ladder going in. That could be fixed next time we do any sort of work down there. He didn't really give a time frame on any recommendations, otherwise it looked pretty good. But he did give us an estimated cost of about $50,000 to do that work. So I don't know if we necessarily need any action on this, but I'm just kind of reporting the results here.
So is it something that you would want to prioritize to put on, I mean, I agree with Mary, and like when I've done the old tower,
That's
can
probably, yeah.
just go away.
Yep.
But the other ones that you have some kind of suggestion on the schedule of repair maintenance on, say 1 to 2 years,
Yeah. So either we put it in the budget for next year or the year after, we'll probably get it done.
Okay.
I would say next year
Yep.
at the latest.
Yep.
Yep. And we don't have the Senex Tower is good, so we don't have to plan anything for that one.
Okay.
Reservoir, like you say, it's mostly just it's an old reservoir, so it has some cast iron piping in it, and it's only the cast iron piping, and it's not a priority, I'd say.
Can we do both of them at the same time?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, relatively the same time, yeah.
If they're gonna do those repairs, they're probably gonna drain the tower,
Yep.
so one of them done and then go to the next one.
Right.
So you're not draining both of those.
There'd be some, I don't remember how they did it when they redid the reservoir in 2000, whatever it was,
They had it
2010.
pumping the whole time.
Huh?
They had it so pumped the whole
They
time.
did, they pumped over, so they have to do that again. So there'd be some logistical work there, but.
But it should be set up for that. So the water, it pumps the whole time, to the towers, because it won't have a reservoir.
Yeah.
It won't have a, you know.
They would just run the pumps to keep the system pressurized.
Right.
But there should be some back and forth, some float in the line between the reservoirs too.
Yeah.
So if you have one of them.
Right.
All the time. Only take one off at a time.
Yeah, I'm talking about the water treatment plant reservoir. So,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That, because, that's what they did.
there's obviously a way to do it.
Discharge the whole
Yeah,
time.
but, yeah.
That should still be there.
Should be.
Should be. Okay. I think we should at least put the north tower in the budget for next year.
Do we want to check on prices of circulators or
Yes.
whatever? Yeah.
Yep. I can check on that.
Any comment on that?
I'll look on that too.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Is that it for towers?
Yep.
Okay, next, reading meters at the water plant.
Okay, so,
Okay, real quick question.
Yes.
Didn't we replace a couple of them, last year,
no.
Or what did we replace last year or something?
We were using some samples, right? Or something.
Yep, in April, we got some test units, to go ahead and give them a test. What we have been replacing the past couple of years are the actuators for the valve.
Oh, yeah, that's it, okay.
Yep, that's ongoing as, our current actuators go out.
Okay.
But all of these, turbidimeters we want to replace they're outdated, they don't make them anymore, they don't make parts for them anymore. And some of the ones that we have are starting to go out, so it's time to replace them. So we have a total of 5 different turbidimeters. There's 6. There's 4 after the filters, and so those are the ones on top. So replacing the Hawk 660s and controllers. Each one, I only have the total number, so it would be 4 of them for $15,000, and then for every 2 units you need a controller, so we need 2 controllers for $7,740, and then the maintenance kit is $1,635. What I don't have there is they offer an installation package and a warranty and a free firmware upgrade package. I'm not necessarily sure if we need that or not, but I think I could at least handle the installation myself. I don't know how often those are updated firmware-wise, or even if firmware updates are even needed, honestly.
Maybe a question for Mike, I can ask him.
Yeah.
Are these the ones that are recommended by our engineering firm, or are they?
Yes, I had Eric do some looking into these ones for me, and this is what he came back with these 4. These are pretty much the standard now. Anything, especially membrane treatment, is getting these. There's almost nothing else.
Okay.
So these are the top of the line, newest thing.
So these other 2 things are different?
Yes, so this second one on the list for $4,899, this is a turbidimeter that's after the clarifiers. It's not as process essential, but it would be nice to, just have that updated to a turbidimeter that's current. This is not the top of the line unit. It is more of a last generation sort of unit, but it is a lot cheaper.
Like how much?
It's about $3,000 cheaper.
The thing is, though, if it's gonna be outdated in 2 years, it'd be stupid to get it, really.
Is this kind of a last year's model thing on sale, or?
No, this is a new product out of a company called Blue Light. They mostly make pumps for water treatment. Let's say it's an updated version of the last generation technology.
Okay.
I think it's, yep.
I think this would be fine for this one.
This is one of the test units we had. I think it's fine for what it is. What's ideal about these ones on top is that The calibration on them is very quick, the cleaning on them is very quick. The problem with the last generation of units is that the calibration is expensive, the cleaning takes a lot of time. But with this one, you know, this is not something you need to calibrate every week like these ones. These top ones you have to calibrate every week according to the regulations from the Department of Health. This one is not like that, and they say the calibration is good for 6 months.
Okay.
Okay,
So we're saving about $3,000 there.
okay.
This one on the bottom is the raw water speedometer. We originally were looking at a unit from Hawk for $10,000 there. The thing with our water here in Washburn is that for 11 months out of the year, it's very, very clean. This is another test unit we had down there. We got it in right towards the end of the spring flood. It handled everything fine. It's doing fine ever since. I think the opportunity to save $8,000 is why not if it works good enough. I think that other unit it's really nice, but it is very expensive, and I don't think it's really necessary.
Yeah, I think that other unit,
Surface Scatter 7, yeah.
it did a lot more than what you actually needed.
Yep, exactly. The unit that it's replacing is very old. It's about, I'd say, 30 years old probably. So, yeah, it's definitely an upgrade, let's just say that.
You can put these in yourself?
These bottom two we're getting these out of Hawkins, so I'm expecting that they would help us install those. I don't see any reason I can't install the ones up from Hawk by myself either. But, I mean, if we wanted to go with the, they're calling it the Warranty Plus Partnership, it's about $1,000 a year. That includes installation, parts, labor, travel, 1 preventative maintenance visit a year, on-site repairs with priority status, and free firmware upgrades.
But you get the firmware upgrades anyway?
I would assume you'd have to pay for them, because it says free firmware upgrades are included. So if you're not a part of their plan, maybe you have to pay for them. I don't know, I could ask them.
So it says the maintenance kit, is that the same as the calibration kit?
Yes.
Okay.
And another thing that's good about this top one is that this is a sealed standard. It's not a liquid which costs $200 every bottle.
Yeah.
This one will last a year. We pay about $200. It lasts for a year. Way better.
Yes, that is it.
Yep.
You know, water is the most important thing we do.
Yep.
How's our budget on water?
Have a better update next meeting on that.
Do you want
It should be fine, yeah. There probably is gonna be tweaking to the water anyway, come looking at our next budget, but that's,
Right. I think we really should go with this.
You wanna get these done right away?
Preferably.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Like I said, some of the ones we have now are starting to go out, and we can't get parts for them. It's time.
We'll be fine.
The total cost for all these units is $33,237. This include any material cost for setup, parts for setup, anything like that. And it also doesn't include that optional warranty.
And normally this is paid out of water, right? Out of the water fund?
Yes.
Okay,
It'll come out of the 601 account.
okay.
So I will make the motion to go with this, and then, you know, depending upon if he thinks he can install it himself or not, if he needs to get them installed, that will be included if he needs it.
Right.
That would be my motion.
I'll second that.
You want to do anything with this, have them checking more on the, this maintenance program warranty, that type of thing?
You can check on too.
Okay.
Okay, I'll ask them about it when I call them tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
Are you gonna have, maybe Zach or somebody down when you install them for a little training exercise?
If I install them, yeah.
Okay,
Well, even if
I mean, even if I don't, we'll be there, yeah.
okay,
Okay, we have a motion to second. Tim?
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you.
Let me go check the log screen.
Check it?
I don't know. Thank you.
Tractor discussion. Mr. Doctor?
Yeah, I visited with Jamie one night and Keith, and I don't know if I talked to Don, Larry. You know, was it 2 years ago, we purchased the dump truck out of 1 cent sale, then we got the pickup out of 1 cent sale, and kind of visited with Adam on what would be the next purchase, and this 43 John Deere we have is, it's beyond his life.
It's at least 50 years old,
Yeah,
at least.
yeah, and plus the mower also. So anyway, one thing I looked at there, kind of got started, there was a tractor, a used tractor for sale up here by Captain's Cabin. So, checked on that, but in the meantime, I've checked with John Deere, and there are some really nice incentives for municipalities from John Deere, some really nice discounts. So, I haven't got all the information back yet. So when I get that information, I can, get that out to you guys and just give some different options. We thought maybe looking at surplus, then you might get something that's in need of a tremendous amount of repair because they're done with it, so.
That's right.
But I know, when I was at the school, John Deere had an amazing program that we had bought a tractor under years ago, and they still have those programs, so.
Mhm.
But anyway, they're still working on it, because I visited with him on Friday and said, I don't expect you to have it, but they are putting it together, so. Just for informational purposes at this time is, I guess my opinion, you guys can throw yours out, is that I think the next purchase we need, is that we would get, I'd like to get something where they could put a blower on it, and.
The front blower.
Yep, and so that it comes with front, you can get it with the front 3-point PTO and
Yep.
loader, whatever you want to do.
Would this be a new one or a used
From
one?
John Deere, it'd be new, yeah.
Brand new.
Yeah, and their programs are very,
Any idea on the cost?
no, not yet, so, no.
Do they do lease programs and purchase, or just purchase?
You don't get much on the lease as far as the discount goes, so,
Just-
yeah, if anything at all, so.
Right. So, yeah, absolutely, I think,
Yeah.
well, we need a different mower tractor, we
Yeah.
just do. I mean,
Yeah.
we need a different mower too, but I think it could wait for
Yeah.
another year.
And this could be used year-round, so,
Absolutely.
yeah. And then, they were talking turf tires, Adam. What they have now is, Nokian has more of an all-season type tire that works both in the winter and less aggressive in the summer for like ditches and that type of thing. So they've gone away from the turf and gone to that. So, but if we got something we'd want, turf tires wouldn't work the greatest in the winter time
No,
probably,
no,
so,
no.
yeah. So anyway, just for your information.
Cool, thank you, Tim.
Yep.
Okay, electrical hookup by the Resource Center.
Okay,
Mr. Doctor?
I didn't even realize it was gone until I got a call this weekend. And then in visiting with Ed Barnhart, he told me that, because I thought this hookup was still there when Riverboat days would come, they would have carnival, and they just had a need for a hookup. So the Civic Club, somewhere around the early 2000s probably, or earlier, had put in a post with electrical hookup, and it's hooked to the electrical there. And then when the Otter Tail would hook it up for the carnival and all that type of thing. But when the Resource Center was built, it was right in the middle where they wanted to put their driveway.
Right.
So the post and everything was pulled out, and I didn't realize that, was pulled out and taken down to it is down at the compound, right? Larry had found it down.
It's down
Yeah,
there, yeah, it's
so
down
Larry found it, it's inside down at the compound, so whether it meets code or not anymore, we'd have to check with electrician. But anyway, I got a call from the Riverboat people, and what they did this year, last year they did a temporary hookup, but it cost them $350, so they said they didn't want to do that again, so they just got tie-ins from all the businesses on Main Street to run whatever they needed to run. But I just said, you know what, we need to put that back in again, so.
Yes.
So anyway, I guess we don't need to do it immediately, but, I visited with Clay Heddletwit, there's plenty of room down there, to put it back in, hook it up, we just need to get an electrician to look, make sure we can use over what we've got, if not, upgrade it to the latest and greatest, so.
Yep.
So, and I can work with Adam on that if you want, so,
Perfect.
okay. Any questions on that? So, okay.
Do you want that, well, I can talk about that later, but there's, There is a quasi box down there, because would you want power closer by the stop sign where they usually set up?
You're talking about on Main? Probably not. Well,
We can go down and look at it.
we can look,
Yeah, we can go down and look at it, yeah.
Waiting for Chelsea to get done writing.
Good,
Okay, that's why I was waiting.
sorry.
That's fine. Deputy auditor, full-time position? Chelsea?
Erica's been working roughly 32 hours, but we have a lot of things coming up that are gonna need to be done. She's always here when I can't be here, so I just think it would make more sense to move her up to full-time. And she is willing to go to full-time.
And we visited with that at our last HR meeting too.
Yeah.
Went through the logistics or specifics of it rather, so.
There is so much work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's only a few more hours for her week, and, you know, she gets a little bit better benefits, but
Yeah.
I think it'd be well worth taking her full-time.
So I would move that we would move her up to full-time.
Second. Further discussion?
Uh,
Jim?
yes.
Go ahead, Don.
Before, would her wages go up then, or would they stay the same?
We would look, I guess we would look at that when we go to,
We would look at that at the,
Okay.
when we do wages again. I'm glad, I was gonna mention that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I think we should make some adjustment if we're gonna go full-time.
Yep.
we can look at it.
Yep.
Have HR look at it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Jim?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Lead service line inventory assistance resolution. Madam Auditor.
It's only one page.
Yeah.
I got the other pages.
Okay, so the resolution of governing body of applicant. Resolution authorizing filing an application with the North Dakota Department of Environmental Quality for assistance performing a lead service line inventory in compliance with the lead and copper rule revisions. Whereas the public water system named above, the entity, City of Washburn, is a community public water system or non-transient, non-community water system regulated by the NDDEQ, the governing body of this entity authorizes the above-named designated official to submit an application to the NDDEQ to request assistance with a lead service line inventory, lead service line replacement plan, facility plan to prepare for a DWSRF loan, and/or to conduct non-regulatory sampling as described in the application. The entity will provide to the NDDEQ and the NDDEQ's designated service provider physical access to records, public easements, public right-of-ways, and the entity will provide any other information needed to perform the necessary work. If on-site investigation of service lines, such as potholing or hydrobacking, is performed by the NDDEQ's designated service provider or one of its subcontractors, the entity will waive permit fees. Certificate of Recording Officer. The undersigned, duly qualified and acting city auditor of the City of Washburn does hereby certify that the resolution is a true and correct copy of the resolution as regularly adopted at a legally convened meeting of the entity's governing body held on the 12th day of June, 2023. And further, that such resolution has been fully recorded in the Journal of Proceedings and Records in my office.
I didn't get all that. Can you read it again?
Can you read it again? I didn't understand it.
Yeah, come talk to me after.
So we would need a motion to approve the resolution.
I make a motion that we approve.
Second?
Okay. Tim?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And then, what else do we need to do with that? Anything? That's it?
So it has a signature from Chelsea on it, and a signature from you.
Both of us, I think, yeah.
Yep. And then you just gotta send it in to them.
Okay, we send it in? Okay.
You want me to do it, I can, unless you want to send it in, I'll instruct you.
I can send it in, that's fine.
And I haven't heard how the interaction goes with DEQ to you, but they'll reach out to you
Okay.
at one time, and they'll, say, here's somebody that can help you with this work. And that, like I talked to you guys last month about it, that's a contract between, it's not even a contract with the city, it's just between DEQ and whoever they have help.
Okay.
That's the rest of that. Yeah. EMS update? Eric, the hot seat again.
You can raise the chair if you want.
A little bit below up.
I think you do that on purpose.
Alright. Okay, so just wanted to first talk about the project on how the construction's going. So I got that, in the report. Just to kind of summarize it, the contractors come in and on the project area, they reclaimed all the asphalt, so they ground it up, compacted it back down. I know that there were some people made some comments that this is the best road to pave roads in quite some time, so that's good. So what the contractor is doing now is they're hauling in the class 5 gravel base, okay? And what we did with this project is we're mixing the class 5 gravel base with the asphalt millings that they just ground up. So contractors coming in with their trucks and their blade, and they're blading it all out across it. They're putting 6 inches of gravel down, and then they're going to come back with their mill, and their mill will mix that up and harvest it out for them. So we'll have a mixture of 60% class 5 base and 40% millings. So it's a 60-40 mix. We require per the spec at least a 50-50 mix. So why they're putting 6 inches down is their mill will only pick up 10 inches. So that's how we get that 60-40 mix.
Okay.
Okay.
So
That's
you're gonna mix gravel with the other
with the millings, yes. Mixing the new gravel that they're bringing in with the millings. So right now I know that looks on those streets, they're like, well, geez, we have 6 inches of gravel on top. What's going on? Well, that's why they're doing that. They're blading it out so we can get a good, accurate.
Yep.
That's the technique that they're using for that. Blading out the 6 inches on top, and then the mill will come in and pick 10 inches. So it'll be 6 inches of gravel and 4 inches of the.
So that's standard to mix the gravel with the.
That is the technique
Okay.
that I would allow, yes.
Okay.
So what they're going to do then, when they pick that millings up, they might put it over on one side of the road or on one road that they're not going to be doing the construction on yet to stockpile it. And then they got to get down to the subgrade. Well, they got to pull off because some areas have a lot more asphalt than just 4 inches.
Yeah.
So from based off of what we know on the borings and stuff, we know that there's at least 4 inches across the project area. But the project rep that's on site, that's Jack. You guys met Jack. And then this week I'm been on site. We know that there's at least 4 inches across the whole project. So in areas where there's more than 4, which is the majority of it, they will haul off those millings of just plain millings, and they'll stockpile those for the city. So I'm expecting that the city will have a good amount of stockpiled millings after they haul off the 10 inches that they're going to haul off,
okay.
or stockpile to one side.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Because they got to get down to the subgrade, where all the millings are gone. And then they'll do the subgrade prep work there, and get compaction on the subgrade, and then they'll come back and get our 8 inches of mixed base, and then we'll have fabric go on top of that, and then they'll pave.
So we need,
Turn out to be a good road.
so we need to designate a place to pile those then, right?
I think we
Or
talked
have you
about
done that already? Okay.
Yeah, over
Okay.
here at the,
Okay.
unless there's some other place where you guys want, well, we talked about the boat ramp, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah, well, that's still in discussion,
Okay,
so.
all right.
Okay. Sounds good.
So that's what we got going on. The other thing is, I think they were gonna start doing some, curb removals.
Can I interrupt you for just
Yeah,
one
sure.
second? So when do you think, do you have a time frame on when they might be giving us those millings?
I would say it would be over the next couple weeks.
Probably within, so,
Yeah,
so we'll have to
because
figure out something within the next, probably
you
week
need
or so.
you need to make some space over here? Or,
Possibly.
okay. Yeah, I would say if there's a specific spot you want them,
Yeah.
then let me know. The sooner you let me know, the
Yeah,
better.
okay.
I
How
will.
fine is that gonna be, those millings?
How
Is
fine
that-
is it
Yeah,
gonna
how
be?
fine, is it pretty fine?
Well, it's gonna be a certain gradation. There's gonna be some pieces smaller than others, but it'll be like what you'd see on a surface of a gravel road. I don't
Stuff we can
Getting
use?
ground up.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
stuff you can put down on any street that you'd want to use. I think the city's used that before, that type of product, and it's worked out pretty good.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Just asking.
it'll be a usable product for surfacing the roads, yep.
Good, yeah.
But yeah, other than that, they will be doing some curb and gutter removals. And today, Steam Construction, which is a subcontractor that's put in the underground storm sewer, they started today on one of them. So they will be working this week. I would guess that they'll have that all done this week, of the 3 different storm sewer crossings we have. So we got that going on. Adam and I were out looking at some locations for the gate valves, so we're going to be putting in, adding some gate valves and replacing some gate valves. So we got that work could be going on as well this week. And right now we have a progress meeting scheduled with the contractor for 10 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday this week.
Keith, you can make that?
So we'll go over and hopefully we can get some feedback from, if you guys know of any feedback from the residents, we can talk about that and then just give you guys another update on how things are going, and then a schedule from the contractor too, so that you guys are aware. And that way Chelsea can answer some questions because she gets all the calls from residents. So I hope that was a kind of a good summary on what's going on with the gravel, because I know there's a lot of questions on the gravel. So.
Yeah. I think that should help clear up
Yeah.
a lot of kind of what they're thinking, or why the 6 inches is there, and
Yeah.
thinking that it's going to stay there, but.
Yeah, and it'll be there for a little bit until they can kind of get, they might pick up some of it in some areas and still have to do it in others, so it's
A process.
it's a process, yes, yeah, so. And then the other thing, so we haven't had any contractor's application for payments yet, so I was thinking maybe next month we could do the loan fund request too.
Okay.
So, unless you wanted something sooner, but,
I think next month should be fine.
okay, all right. So just be in touch with Abby on that, she can help out with it, so. And then, is there any other questions on the street project? Seems to be going pretty good so far, so we'll keep on it. We did have a good rain that you guys talked about earlier that came through, and so good thing is when they milled up the asphalt, they packed it down really good. So we did have some that ran off, but it worked out okay. I think they did some good cleanup after the storm. So
Yeah, I think they're a pretty good contractor.
yeah, they've been doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So. Okay, the only other thing I had was the lead service line inventory systems, which you guys covered that already. Was there any questions on that? And I will just, and Chelsea will hopefully get some information from the DEQ, I'll reach out to her, and I'll update you guys from what I hear as well, but I know that with there are subcontractors, A2S is one of them, that's working for the DEQ on this, because this is something they're doing statewide, and there was over 100 applicants, public water systems, that asked for assistance for this. So I think they have a pool of like 7 or 8 contractors, consultants like A2S that are going to be helping out with this. So I'm thinking that it'll be probably in the next 2 to 4 weeks before we really hear anything, because the DEQ is going through their process of getting ready to assign consultants to these public water systems. So we'll let you know as I hear more information on that.
Great.
Did they pay attention that you're our engineer?
So on the 4 pages, I think you have A2S listed as your consultant.
Okay.
So I would hope, if I was the DEQ and I was trying to be as efficient as possible,
Oh, yeah,
I would
see
look
that.
at all the consultants, because I want to say Moore Engineering, Bartlett and West. There's a number of consultants that are helping out with this work. I would hope that they would look at who the public water system said is their consultant and who's their preferred, because that person probably has the best knowledge of the system. So we would be most efficient. A2S in Washburn's case would be most efficient at figuring this out and working with them on what they have for lead service lines. So, yeah, if that answers your question.
It does.
I hope they look at that, but I don't know for sure, 100% how they're going to do it.
Okay.
So, any other questions? Otherwise, that's all I have for you guys.
Okay.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric, appreciate it.
Commissioner Doctor?
I think the only thing I have is that I visited with the Sheriff's Department. I got a call one night of a couple of dogs that got into it on Main Street. A lady was walking her dog, and another dog literally jumped out of a vehicle and attacked hers. And so she struggled to get them apart, and finally got them apart, and then visited with some other people, including the sheriff's department, and there has been numerous incidents that they've been addressing. So they have emailed their deputies to step up enforcement of leash law, I guess you would call it. So I thought it might be good if we could put out on our website, and, you know, maybe put the ordinance in there, you know, the dogs need to be leashed. And, 'cause it's, and then I visited with this lady afterwards, and she says, and I can't walk the other direction because there's another set of dogs that come running out of the yard and go after it. And so she goes this way, so our residents shouldn't have to put up with that.
No.
If you're gonna have a dog, you should have it leashed or in
And
a
she
fence.
reported it to the
Yep,
sheriff?
they did an official report on it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and took care of it, so anyway, visited with, Cromer, and he's taking care of it on his end, and what he asked if we would get the word out there too. I mean, if people know it, they just need to realize that enforcement's gonna be stepped up on it, so.
Do we need something in the paper on that too, or not?
We could.
We could, let's do it.
Maybe for a couple of weeks, just,
Yep.
you know, put it in there that, you
Yep.
know, with the increased number of
Concerns.
dogs and issues, you know,
Yep.
enforcement's gonna be, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That chills.
Do you want to do that?
Pardon me? Yeah, I can quickly, Doctor. Jamie and I met with Rochelle and Mark, and we, Jamie and I put together, I guess, some parameters, and we're just waiting to hear back from them on then those parameters and what to do. But,
But yeah, I think if you guys, I could probably email those over to you, because just sat down, kind of made some general, went over and looked at it, see what would work, kind of did some setbacks from the sidewalks and so forth, and the high line poles, and I can email that over, and then if you send that to everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
sure.
just see if you guys agree with it, but at least gave them something to go with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
sure.
yeah, and we made it clear to them that we don't have the authority to, you know, to make the final decision, but these are parameters that we gave for them to start in.
Yeah.
And we
Good
haven't
idea.
heard anything back yet, so.
Okay, no, that sounds great.
Okay. Anything else you can think of on that, Jamie?
Not on that, I guess,
Okay.
yeah, I'll email, I should have emailed that sooner, but.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm done with mine, so.
Okay.
And then the Taylor Kevin sign down there had a, well, it's my turn? or-
Yep, go ahead.
The assessors wanted to see that sign get fixed up a little better, so Adam's working on that with the Historical Society.
Yeah, well, that's right, historical society.
It's brought up at our meeting. I mentioned that I went and talked with the gentleman of having maybe the sign redone with those, you know, poles and that, and I heard of that.
Okay. So you and Adam are working on,
Not gonna know, but okay.
I mean, it's your guys' sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some initial plans that if, we talked to Cody Meadows, Historical Society, said if we wanted to take the lead on, then we could. But it's, our idea is pretty basic, it's just two pole posts and a redone description of the sign. So if they want something different, they have to decide on that.
You would, two posts, and you would tear out what's there and put up two posts?
Yes. But, I believe that one cement pillar is not salvageable.
Doesn't look like it.
Is the sign savable?
Underneath the concrete or whatever, that's why it doesn't come together.
Right, well, one of them did, and the other one didn't. And then, I guess, people have seen kids picking at it over time.
Jamie asked a question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, is the sign itself savable? Or is that rotten?
It's getting rotten, so I would say no, but, we should probably just replace it. There's a lot of writing on the back side.
Because we have Taylor fabric.
There's not much to the sign, it's just, it's four or five 2x4s, that's all it is, stuck together.
And what is it, like, the letters on, how are the letters on
engraved
They
in.
must, yeah, they were stenciled and engraved, which is not a problem on the front, but there's a very long paragraph on the back. So we have to figure that out. but-
Well, I don't think the city should be paying for that. You know, I mean, it's not ours. Just, you know, I don't know. Come up with some ideas, we'll discuss it again. You know, right?
Yeah, I guess, come up with some ideas and we'll
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah, okay.
See what we can do.
All right. Jimmy, anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay, I guess just quick update for the library for anyone listening and that sort of stuff. For the building, we had some flooding in the basement still, so Tim and Adam went and looked at that, and they got a plan going forward of basically really trying to fix that drainage. I actually drove by there when it was raining, and it was pooling really, really bad, so it
Okay.
sounds like there like inch of water, residents, frogs or anything in there, because it looked like a pond, but yeah, they got a plan going for that, as well as that back room, the kids' room.
I talked with her today, she's not gonna be there on Thursday and Friday this week, so that she can have time to get it in.
Okay. Nice. And then, so that would be all for the library, and then, just, I guess, as HR, whatever we kind of worked on, just a policy for, submitting agenda items, meeting conduct, that sort of stuff, so we can do everything decently and in order. So I have a copy of that we can just review, just for our next meeting. Obviously, no huge rush or anything on that, but Tim and I kind of worked on it there. It just kind of gives us a really good skeleton and rules of just conduct. You know what I mean? So that way everything can just be done in a respectful manner, and we'll be able to have productive meetings with that in mind. So some of the bigger changes, I guess, would be when someone submits an agenda item, just a short description given, or if anything is going to be handed out, that could be emailed beforehand, just so then we can be more educated on the things we're going to be talking about and have
Yes.
some time to prepare,
Yep.
instead of just being surprised with a 3-page booklet, or, you know what I mean? So
Oh, yeah. No,
just so we can be more prepared and
Yep.
do a better service here. So that's the basic idea. Just look it over, and we'll probably just push it to the next meeting.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you guys could maybe look it over and get back to us in a couple of weeks, so we have a couple of weeks to tweak it if we needed to, and then, present it in July.
Yeah, and if you prefer digital and you want to do like edits or whatever, just send me an email. I can email it fine as well. So okay, sounds good.
Very good. Thanks for all the work. Anything else?
No, that's all.
Mr. Dunn? Speak.
When did we meet with Mahoning last? Was that before our last meeting? No,
It was
after our last
it was before our last meeting.
Was it?
Yeah, so it's been almost 6 weeks or so.
Okay, so, yeah, we're still kind of waiting to set up a discussion with the State Water Commission. He's going to set that up.
Yep.
When's that going to happen? I don't know. Let's see where it goes.
Yep.
That's all I got. Chelsea?
We need people for our special assessment committee. I'm hoping we can maybe get that done in our July meeting. I've got one person so far that's interested, but we still need 2 more. And to get rolling on this, if we're gonna get it on our special assessments for this year, we need to get moving on that. So if anybody would want to be on the committee, please submit a letter.
I'll
So that-
volunteer.
There might be a conflict.
Yeah.
Really?
Why not?
It shouldn't make any difference. I don't live over there.
We'll look it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's look that up, see if that's allowed, and then if it is, so.
And it's more or less just coming, kind of determining how I guess it's going to be assessed, and then there's a public hearing that has to be held that you'll have to attend, and then, I mean, you kind of make the final decision, then it goes to the commission for it, so we need 2 more people. Budget items, if there's anything that you guys want specific on the budget, please get those to me as soon as possible, as that's what I'll really be focusing on the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So we can review on that. We're still working on, from the sign update from the last meeting, of getting some more like detailed signs around. Dr. Rochelle had came in and presented a very good idea on that. Just get a little more detail of where we can put signs, so there's more, I guess, signage of where, like, City Hall is at, the courthouse, the dog park, I know was one of them mentioned on there, and just getting that around, so it's noted. Facebook is a great tool, but if there are specific questions or if there is an issue, please feel free to call City Hall and not post it on there. We did have an incident at one point in time where now we'll probably get an alert, but there was something going on down at the water treatment plant, and it wasn't noticed, and for 4 hours later, then somebody finally called. So, I mean, I know as much as Facebook is great, but some of those, and if specific questions, calling down to City Hall is probably the best. And if there's low water pressure, we'll let Adam know, he'll go and check it, so.
Or they can always call the police station, you know, and they'll get a hold of whoever.
Yeah. But that's
Very good.
all I have.
Covered by separate. Good. All right, bills? We have a chance to review the bills?
So pay.
Second. That's not proper.
So move.
Tim?
Yes.
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 Yes. Next meeting, July 10th. Thank you everyone for coming, meeting adjourned. If anybody has any ideas on how to get, you know, at least one more person on the special assessment committee, please let us know. We need to get that set up like sooner than
Yeah.
later.